Dynamic Ether Theory. Preface. This work is a synthesis of functional ether theories produced in the 19th century by pioneers in electrodynamics including Tesla, Russell, Steinmetz, Heaviside, and others. It is set on the megalithic stone foundation laid before them by the ancients: Aristotelian logic, Platonic metaphysics, Copernican cosmology, Newtonian mechanics, Huygens philosophy, Jungian, as in Thomas Young, Lord Kelvin, his methodology, and countless echoes of great men of science that never cared for recognition. It is an attempt to dispel, or in the very least decipher, the true nature of the nihilistic, materialistic, and inherently apparently atheistic theories which have reigned over the entire cosmological and physical system used within Middle Earth civilizations for centuries, namely the heliocentric, atomistic, and relativistic theories from the time of Democritus to that of Lorentz and Einstein. Middle Earth citizens, as will be revealed, denotes all people living within 60 degrees south latitude and 66 degrees 33 north latitude. The conjugate mathematical and metaphysical theories from which stem the experimental and theoretical efforts of Faraday, Maxwell, Huygens, Newton, Ptolemy, Aristotle, and Pythagoras are briefly discussed in light of modern quantum field theory and special relativity. An exploration into ancient, veiled, timeless advanced cosmological concepts and metaphysical systems is also presented. It must be noted that prior to approaching the content within this book, the reader must understand that a new physical and cosmological model may only be presented, let alone accepted, after errors and shortcomings of the current leading models are addressed. It is my hope that in this process, as the fat is trimmed, uncertainties polished away, the absolute truth will stand in its raw glory. This in turn renders the formulation of a new model passive, as the outcome of reductionism always tends to stand firm in its foundations. All one must do is interpret it with discernment, without any preconceptions, mental sedimentations, or other manifestations of prejudice. The conceptual principles of this work may seem extraneous, extreme, or outright incorrect at times, but it is urged that the reader pay mind to the experimental foundation of same, which herein stands before the former. Only through juxtaposing theory and experience, while yielding to no mental autoimmunity that would otherwise inhibit the mind from pondering this information without external projections and preconceptions, will the truth present itself. The reader must embrace their sense of rationality and logic. Once armed with strong discernment and disinterestedness, one may begin to read this book. Avoid all attachment either to the ideas presented herein or to your own. Reading something that affirms one set of beliefs and as a consequence understanding those beliefs deeply renders them intelligible in that material, intelligent. However, wisdom is a different crop to cultivate. Intelligence, as wisdom, requires the intake of new information. While intelligence can process information logically and arrive at correct conclusions, wisdom is needed to synthesize information within the confines of fundamental laws, sometimes breaking conventional laws. What must take precedent in the latter is the abolition of the brick wall of ignorance that we often hold between our hearts and minds, because to truly believe and understand anything which contradicts and imperatively overthrows one's own beliefs, one must feel that change towards truth in their heart before they even read the material, lest they be initially put off by its appearance. So when looking to entertain the ideas in this book, the reader should first focus on the quantitative, empirical information laid out herein, so to dispel any baseless preconceptions, of which I am also not immune to making. Only subsequently should they interpret the qualitative, philosophical concepts. This is so an emphasis is placed on the importance of experimental data in the formulation of theoretical hypotheses, something that, although impersonated far and wide as such, is not common practice among high-ranking academic institutions and authoritative organizational bodies of knowledge today. Most scientists of today, as Tesla is quoted saying, are very smart, and despite thinking deeply, they just cannot think clearly. They can compute complex integrals, differential equations, and imaginary arithmetic to describe theoretical phenomena, such as that of curved space, of which Tesla was an adamant critic, and despite being ultimately perplexed, even mesmerized by the counterintuitiveness and lack of experimental basis for that which they believe, as also evident in many physics forums, university classrooms, and even recorded lectures from experts in the field, very few of today's scientists can muster the willpower or philosophical tenure to question it. While these theories beautifully express and predict nature, they are not perfect, and often require proxy or ambiguously valued terms for which a physical existence is not short of questionable. What if there is only one particle, mediating only one fundamental force, and we are bathing in it and don't even realize it? Our galaxy has a singularity which is in line with the observable universe as it is with the Earth's center in the ecliptic plane. This synchrony bestows upon Earth a most special place, a perfectly central, third physical plane of existence. There are three physical dimensions: up, down, left, right, forward, back. Where? One semi-physical, spiritual dimension, then, now, when, eternity, right? And who and how are left, both of which are God. The stars, sun, and moon are semi-physical objects used to form the Earth and give it life force, God's handiwork. Much of the toroidal mechanics and magnetic theory discussed in this work I attribute to Ken Wheeler and Run Zeckow, who were both very helpful in my research. I attribute equal consideration to my Kumula Aula Pa'au, traditional Hawaiian medicine teacher, who showed me the Kumulipo, the ancient Hawaiian genealogical chant of creation, and the way it coincides with Genesis, as another testament to the claim that the tribe of Asher populated the Americas and traveled on through to discover Oceania. It was also a privilege to learn some of the many sacred truths within the Bible, including Earth's cosmogony and that of its luminaries, as described in Scripture, from Pastor James and his wife Lehua at our family Bible study sessions.